En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.
Hello, I am Patrick Barnard. Welcome to the 95th edition of the Pimento Report. The title of this report is Let's Protect the St-Jacques Escarpment. That title comes from this opinion piece that's recently appeared in the Montreal Gazette. It's by Lisa Mintz. She's a Montreal environmental activist. What is the St-Jacques Escarpment, or the Falaise Saint-Jacques in French? It's an amazing strip of green space, loved by migratory birds. It's on a ridge just over there to the west of where I am right now. It's an amazing place. Lisa Mintz, the activist, has something to say about the escarpment. She has a story to tell. So let's go to that green space and hear what her story is.
Well, I come down here to birdwatch because it's so beautiful, and it's like a little oasis of green where I actually can birdwatch in this desert of concrete that we have. And there's 65 species of birds that come down here, or come through here, and a lot of them nest here. I was down here just a little bit farther to the west in April, and I saw orange survey markers on the trees and in straight lines, and somebody obviously went to a lot of time and effort to do that. So I was wondering what it was. I went to a meeting of the Comité de Bon Voisinage Turcotte to find out what had happened, and they told me that no trees were going to be cut down there, and that that was a protection measure for the endangered brown snake. And when the construction workers saw a brown snake on the construction area, they were supposed to take it and put it back behind the orange line, and that's what the line was for. A couple of weeks ago, I realized that the entire area had been bulldozed. I drove by there and I saw that there was nothing left, no trees, nothing, just earth.
Did you feel that you had been lied to?
I definitely felt I had been misled. I gotta tell you that. I feel that it may or may not have been intentional, but I'm pretty sure it was. And I think it was done so that I wouldn't cause any trouble beforehand. And so when I found out that had happened, I went back, and there was another Comité de Bon Voisinage the next day on September 21st, and I went to that and I asked them what had happened. And they said to me that they thought I was talking about the eastern end of the Falaise, when I was very specific that I was talking about the western end, and behind the Canadian Tire and all the rest of it. I was very specific, and people who were there with me knew what I was talking about.
Now, you wrote an op-ed in the Gazette pointing out what happened, and the title of that op-ed is Let's Protect the St-Jacques Escarpment. Why is this important for Montrealers?
Okay, this area is part of any green belt that we could have on the island. Without this, there would be no green area that goes from north to south. There are plans, almost every green group, this is part of their plan, to have a green belt. And without it, we can't do it because everything else is developed. And it's so important. This is the area that keeps us from getting sick from all the hydrocarbons and car fumes that come off of the Turcotte and the St-Jacques roads.
Why do the birds love it?
Because, well, it's a microclimate. It's very warm down here, and there's also all these trees, and nobody's touched it. It's untouched. Some people come down here, but not a lot of them, and the birds can just be birds, you know.
Sylvia Ollemark of the Green Coalition, who has been an activist here for more than 25 years and has written a very well-known history of natural green spaces in Montreal, said to me the following this morning, quote, "The St-Jacques Escarpment is a symbol of our natural heritage, and that natural heritage is being very poorly protected now," close quote. Is that your feeling as well?
This is supposed to be a protected eco-territory, and obviously it's not protected because look at what they've done already. They've already taken about 10% of it and just bulldozed it. And it's so important that we protect our green spaces. Montreal has committed to have 10% of the island be green space in their urban plan, which they just created. And in order to do that, we need to keep every single green space that we already have. And I didn't get any assurances from the Turcotte people or the MTQ that this was going to be protected. They said it was going to be protected, but I didn't get any proof, and I can't seem to get any proof. And I really would like to see a specific plan which states this.
Is that sumac there, the red?
That would be sumac, and the birds love it.
Now look, I'm going to look up, and at that light canopy there, do the birds love to go in there and then kind of come down, do you think?
The warblers love to live up there. Any little birds, they really have, that's where they go. It's where it gets warmest first in the morning, or when it's cool first in the evening. And yeah.
And now do they come down below to do things down here? Do they eat or nest or make love down here?
Different birds have different ranges. So the littler birds usually, like warblers and stuff, they are high in the trees, a lot of them. Down on the ground you'd find sparrows of different kinds. So we got white-throated, white-crowned. I guess there's chipping sparrows, and I think we got some swamp sparrows too down here. You'd have robins, and different birds take different areas.
Lisa, do you think this would make a good park?
I think it would make a beautiful park. I think that what we need is, it could be a place for the birds and a place for people as well. I think that probably the steep part should be left as a, it's like a bird sanctuary kind of thing. And then we could have a path along the bottom, which is what the MTQ is proposing, that would be good for bird watchers and cyclists and whoever would like to use it. And then we could all use it together.
Can you hear some birds right now that you're able to identify?
Yes, I hear a woodpecker, a downy and a hairy woodpecker, and I hear chickadees, and I hear seagulls, but they don't really count. But yeah, and during migration, it's all birds down here. Like, there's just millions of them. Well, we think that this is possibly a riverbed. I know that it gets quite damp down here in the spring, and this kind of vegetation is from wetlands. There's quite a bit of wetlands around here, which is one of the reasons it doesn't make any sense to build something down here. They want to put a railway next to a wetlands, which is actually supposed to have already swallowed a locomotive, so I'm kind of wondering about that. But yeah, this is supposed to be a river, and we think it flowed down from there over to there.
And Lisa, this was wooded land before?
This was all trees. It looked exactly like where we just were.
And does there seem to be a road here?
They seem to have put a road right down there. They told me that they were putting a retaining wall in here, but I don't see any sign of a retaining wall. And how come there's a road? It's not supposed to be part of their plans.
Do you think there's going to be a much greater incursion than they have indicated?
That's what it seems to indicate, and I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned.
Now all of this was basically trees down here.
All of this was trees. All this area that is now just a big pile of dirt was trees. It was trees. There were birds here. I mean, there were big trees here too, not just like, there's some gorgeous, gorgeous willows here, and they've just been destroyed.
Alors Lisa, merci beaucoup, c'est une éducation.
Merci Patrick.
Ok, puis on va faire quelque chose en français bientôt, hein?
Oui, oui, oui.
En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.